Welcome everyone to Arts Alive, and it is my pleasure today to talk a little bit about the upcoming, I'm calling it an extravaganza, Tyler. I hope you don't mind my using that term, but I mean, to me it is, you know. It's a fabulous opportunity to share in music with locals, people who are not so local, and it's a concept of Tyler Bowe, who was a native of Fall River, left here at the very young age of about 28, and has been 21, and has been in California for 40 some years. Doing very well, I might add, in California during this time. So he went out to find his fortune on the West Coast, and he has. So it's my pleasure to welcome him here today to talk a little bit about our upcoming show, and also actually one of the stars of the show, Juliana Lucia, I think it's Lucia, right? Amaral, beautiful name, I love that name. Beautiful young lady, wonderful singer, and you'll see her here live on August 20th. So tell us a little bit about how you came to this concept of this show, Tyler. Was it here in the Narrows that inspired you doing the interview?
Well, that's where I gave birth to the idea. Yeah. But originally, you know, my answer is going to be a little long, but I'll make it as quick as possible. How I came up with it, well, you know, I am very fortunate enough to live in Los Angeles in a really nice area, surrounded by artists, actors, painters, you name it. And my neighborhood is like, you know, this may not even make any sense, but the average home price there is $6 million. I don't live in a $6 million home. Don't get me, this is not what I'm trying to say. So anyhow, I'm surrounded by beautiful homes, artists. Juliana knows, she plays there all the time. Everybody from, you know, whether it's Rod Stewart, George Clooney, or whoever lives in my neighborhood. And I can't help just to see their personalities and, you know, their behavior and stuff. And a lot of them are very wonderful and very generous and very caring. So, big and long story short, all I got to do is go down about 4 blocks. I make a left on Wilshire Boulevard, and just 8 miles down, I'm downtown LA. And I'm in Skid Row. So I go, oh my God, I can almost see my house from here, where everybody's so rich up there and so talented, and many of them are very loving also. And then you have like these poor people, families with babies on the street. And I've been downtown at any time of the day, 6 a.m., 11 a.m., it doesn't matter what time. I've seen it daylight, nighttime, and I've spoken to a lot of these people. And actually, some of my actor friends. One time I went down there and I see a friend of mine. I said, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I just haven't been able to work."
Bad times.
Bad times.
Bad times.
I mean, you gotta be kidding
COVID,
me.
yeah.
You're here, you're living on a Texas, dude. What are you doing? You know. Okay, so let's go back up the hills again, where I live, and now I go down a hill again, and I make a right this time on Wilshire Boulevard. Well, 8 miles down from there, which is not far, I'm in Venice Beach. Muscle Beach, you know, and what do I see? Artists all over the place, all lined up with their easels, doing their paintings, and some of them are amazing, right? So I say to myself, I mean, this guy, people will tell me, oh man, I hope I can sell a painting today. You know, one guy will say, well, I'm homeless. The other guy said, if I can sell a painting today, I can pay for my electric bill tonight, you know. So I came to the conclusion, I said, okay, where's the problem here? Because the people up in the hills, they're not that much more talented than the people on Venice Beach, and the people who live in Skid Row, they have just as big of hearts as the people who live in the hills. So I said, okay, the problem is lack of funds. People need money. And me, I'm a small fish in the big sea, and I've thought about, you know, getting my friends together in LA, renting out a club, putting on, you know, a benefit, maybe get, you know, 150, 200 of my friends to come and see the show. But like I said, I'm a small fish in the big sea. I would put such a small dent in an LA crisis that we have with the homeless, San Francisco included. So I came up with the last time I was here to answer your question, Kathy. The last time I said, why don't you do something in your hometown?
Right.
I grew up in Fall River. I love this city. I come here all the time. Still have family. I have lots of friends here. And that's how I came up with the idea. I said, no, let's do it in your hometown. You know what? I mean, I love LA, don't get me wrong, but I think I can have a little more of an effect here. And I have tremendous support, including Kathy, Frack, the First Baptist Church. Everybody's been so supportive, the Narrows. So that's, is that long enough for you?
That's a nice segue into Juliana.
Here we go.
Actually.
This is my little friend here, Juliana.
Yeah.
She plays Hollywood all the time. Hi, Julie.
You have to pass the mic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're low on mics.
Hello, Kathleen.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So
How
tell
are
us
you,
a little
Tyler?
bit about.
Doing
good.
good.
Yeah.
Good. So good to see you.
I know. I have to compliment everybody today.
Well, that's good. I mean, we always can use those. Trust me, it's always a nice thing to hear. But as I said in an earlier segment of this program, Juliana is the winner of the Portuguese Entertainer of the Year. That this year, because of its success, was moved to PPAC.
Yes.
What was it like? And of course, I will add too now that Juliana is one of the stars of Tyler's upcoming show on August the 20th, right here at the Narrows. So, tell me how it felt to be on that stage and winning the award and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So it was amazing because growing up, I actually have been going to the International Portuguese Music Awards with my family most of my life. I always remember the excitement of my family going to see, artists of Portugal, from Portugal that my family loves, and to have been nominated and be able to perform, it was quite a shock and an honor. For a Portuguese girl from New Bedford,
Absolutely.
it's like, wow, it's pretty cool, And honestly, being on that stage, it was 2,500 people. It's like, oh my God, it's crazy. You're in front of everybody. But it's funny because the only person that I actually saw was my mom because I was nervous. That was probably one of the first times I think I was ever nervous. But when to calm me down, I found her in the crowd. I was like, rocking out with her. But it was
great,
definitely quite an honor to be a part of. So I'm very thankful and very blessed to have been on that stage and to win. So that was quite a feeling.
Exactly. And that I think, as I said, that was held formerly at the Z.
Yes.
And then because of size, now they've moved it to PPAC, which is great.
It was awesome. I think I told you this. So the first time I went to PPAC was like, I think 12 years ago when I was a little girl. I went to go see some musical, and the same poster was in the back. I was like, wow, I did a full circle,
Yeah. I'm back again, but this time I'm on the stage now.
It's pretty cool,
It's great, yeah. So what do you have lined up for the 20th of August? What are you thinking of?
Yeah, so I am so excited. First of all, thank you, Tyler, for having me. Going back to what you said, I go to LA a lot, and it is true. It's very heartbreaking to see many people on the streets, especially artists, people who are so talented, who have big hearts. And I'm just so happy to be a part of this, to be able to help out, try to make a change in that, and to bring music and just to unite everybody, especially in the great, city of Fall River. As a big part of my heart, actually. I used to play here all the time when I was in middle school, and it's my first time back here in I think 6 years.
Wow.
So it's just to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Well, you're
again.
mentioning local. Mention TD Music and the effect that TJ rather.
Yeah, so I actually grew up going to TJ's All-Star Band. That's actually right here, right there. I used to play the bass, and I learned a lot from it. And every Wednesday I would be here, at the studio there. And I remember my family would drop me off, and they would go to a Portuguese restaurant, wait for me, and then they'd go pick me up. But yeah, it has a big impact on me. I still take what I learned from it. I use it on the stage, and not just in the music world, but in the outside world too. Because every lesson to me, I try to apply everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. And your grandfather, who is here today with us in the audience. Is your manager, I believe, right?
Him and my mom, the momager.
And accompany you still on these LA gigs and other
Yeah.
places where you, New Hampshire and
Yeah.
wherever else you go to play, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's been crazy. I actually did have this week off. It was my grandpa's birthday, so I had to
Oh,
give
well,
the week off. you know?
absolutely, yeah.
But we're actually going back on tour. We're going to Georgia, actually New Jersey, New York. We're doing a bunch of shows next week, and
Right.
it's just been crazy, really. And I'm just so thankful and blessed. I sound like a broken record, but it's just I have to express so much how thankful I am, because it really is a dream come true to be, growing up, learning music, and especially my grandfather being a musician. It's
Right,
an honor
right,
to
yeah.
pay tribute to him almost.
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, it is, and it's wonderful that you get that kind of, again, family support.
Yeah.
It's so very important in your development and the development of all of us, not just you,
Yeah.
to have that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to take a little. We're going to have some of your music.
Yes.
We had planned to have Juliana perform live here, but unfortunately she's had a bit of a setback
Yes.
with her throat and so forth. And we want to save that for next week's performances, right?
Absolutely,
So
yes.
we're going to have some inserts of her performing, and that should be fun to watch and listen to. So
Here they are.
here they are, exactly.
Went to a party last Saturday night. I didn't get laid. I got in a fight. It ain't no big thing. Late for my job and the traffic was bad. Had to borrow $10 from my old man. It ain't no big thing. I went to a party last Saturday night. Told you that story would be alright. It ain't no big thing, but I know what I like. I know I like dancing with you.
So it's my pleasure now to talk to some of the people involved with this wonderful event that's coming up on August 20th. It's a night of a musical extravaganza being pulled together by Tyler Bowe, who is a native of Fall River, and I think we all know Tyler. If we didn't know him before, we know him now. And this is again going to happen at the Narrows here in Fall River. So on my right, I'm sure many of you know Tom Corey. And then we have Ashley Okino, who is the executive director of FRAC, one of the beneficiaries of this extravaganza, and Jeff Walls from the First Baptist Church. And it is, again, food, not food.
Feeding Ministry.
The Feeding Ministry, which I love. I love that title. So nice, much nicer than a soup kitchen or whatever. I like Feeding Ministry. So, Tom, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're planning to do here with the Night of Music on the 20th, and FRAC. You've been involved with FRAC, almost you and your wife, and now your daughters.
Very much looking forward to it, Kathy. It's I know that what's going on in Fall River right now, there's so much going on, especially with the development of the waterfront and the impending train station that's going to be here, and and I feel that the arts are at the center of that. And I know I want to stand up for FRAC because I think it's such a wonderful committee. It's centered on this great city, our great community, and all of the talent that surrounds this community is so deep. And this committee, FRAC, is bringing that talent to the forefront, especially at this time in Fall River when it's on a growth and development scale. So it's a real pleasure to be part of this, especially with my old friend Tyler. I remember Tyler and I back in the in the late 70s, early 80s, when we were in different bands but playing the same circuit. And I've seen how far his career has taken him, and he had the courage to up and leave the community and move to Los Angeles and Hollywood and make a career there.
42 years ago.
42 years ago, he had the courage to do that. And my young brother, Jimmy Corey, and Dave Reitzes followed in his footsteps, and my brother's been out there in Hollywood for 35 years, actively playing music, along with Dave Reitzes. We have so much talent in this community, Kathy, that emanates from Fall River. It's like a little cultural center. There's so much going on. So it's such a pleasure to be part of this with FRAC and with Tyler, and especially to have the beneficiaries be FRAC in the arts and, feeding the homeless, which I see as such a noble gesture. And I have to tell you, Kathy, that was the tipping point for me, to know that this concert, this event, this extravaganza was going to benefit the homeless in some way. I wanted to jump on board immediately, and I've even worked in that food kitchen many times at the First Baptist Church, and I praise what they're doing on behalf of those underprivileged right around us here. So it's a pleasure for me to be involved in this. I hope it's a huge success. There's a lot of reasons why people should come on out and enjoy themselves that night, and I'll guarantee you we'll put a smile on your face.
And you will perform.
I will. I'll be part of the All-Star Jam at the end, rocking out. Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you.
And Ashley.
Yes. Well, on behalf of FRAC, thank you very much for, supporting the arts, being a member of the coalition since before I showed up. And so for those that maybe should introduce myself. So I'm the executive director of FRAC, and I've been in that role for about 6 months now. It has flown by, and that's because there's so much going on. I'm very, very proud to represent all the different members who, either performers like yourself or perhaps are business owners in the community or even local government members. This is an organization that is open to all, and we keep ourselves as an open source committee, and we try to be a resource to others. And one of the ways we can be a resource is, through this concert. We look forward to being one of the beneficiaries, really, and what we can do back in the community. with the support that we received through this concert. So
Do
we're
you
very
want to quickly
thankful.
mention the murals?
I would
The
love to
murals
mention
be
the
well on their
murals.
way by the time people
They
are
will be
seeing this
done.
show,
They will
yeah?
be done, and if
Great.
you're coming in from out of town, you will absolutely, you won't be able to miss them. So I'm very happy to share that FRAC has been involved in a project called Viva Murals, and this project will install 3 large-scale murals here in Fall River, and they will be visible from major roadways. You, like I said, you won't miss them. And
Do
so
you want to say where they are?
Sure. So they are located, so one will be at Dorn Elementary School, and that's a really fun one because the children at Dorn Elementary School will have participated in a cultural exchange with students in Tarabamba Island and Cartagena, Colombia. So there will be a mural going up in Colombia, and there'll be a mural going up here at the United States, and a really wonderful exchange will happen there. And the other 2 murals will be located on 207 Pocasset Street, and you're like, where is that on Pocasset Street? Well, it is the Potter's Printing Building.
And the old Fall
and the
River
full-
Herald News, as many people will recognize it as that.
They do, and so
Yes.
we but it's not anymore. It's
No,
the Potters,
Potter,
and
right.
and they're very happy to be recipients of 2 murals on that building, and so the murals will be done by the murals at. The Potter's Printing Building will be done by Ad Fuel, who's a Portuguese artist. Another one will be done by Greg Pennison, who is a local artist who's done murals already here in town.
Right.
And going back to Dorn Elementary School, that will be done by Kevin Lido. And Kevin actually has family still here in Fall River, so we're very excited for him to kind of come back. So it's a really exciting project, and again, it couldn't happen without the support of the community. I mean, that's what FRAC is. We are a community, and we look to what we can kind of give back in this exchange that we have going on.
Exactly, yeah.
Thank
And
you. Yeah.
You're welcome. And Jeff, do you want to talk a little bit about the,
Sure. We were using the phrase feeding ministry, but our official title that we've given ourselves for the longest time is Branch Community Supper. And so all of those words are important to us. The branch is because that we have a 40-year history of reaching out to the community. We started in the 1980s. There was a bookstore up on Main Street, the Mustard Tree Bookstore, and it started to gather, some of the homeless started to use that as their gathering place. And so our church recognized that perhaps we'd want to give them a different place to gather so that the bookstore could continue in their business and we could help the folks that needed a place. And so that's how it started. We just opened our doors and offered some space and a cup of coffee. And it just grew. And there was one person, Deb Jean, Reverend Deb Jean now, who decided to make the big plunge and start serving a dinner. That has been going on for probably 35 years of opening our doors. For those years, it was on Tuesday nights. We now have grown since the pandemic, and we now serve both on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tom, I'm thrilled that you have had hands-on experience with that, and you know what goes on there. It's a very special time. We are serving about 80 meals both on Tuesday and Thursday. We're starting to see an uptick. We all know that the food prices are going up. Rents are skyrocketing. Everybody's being pinched. If we can be there, then that's what we want to do, is help people. Not everybody is homeless. Some of people are just needing that meal so that they don't have the means for everything, but that meal gives them that little breathing room.
And
So we really appreciate that.
what time on Tuesdays normally?
Absolutely. Our doors open at 4:30, and we serve for an hour. We close at 5:30, and we welcome anyone. If you're ready for a meal, we're ready to serve it, and we love doing it. We're unique in that we open our calendar. We would be exhausted if we cooked those meals every single time, but we have this amazing set of people, and they come from everywhere. We open our calendar and let people sign up. So while we're hosting it, everyone else is, all these different groups and their churches and hospitals and families and corporations. The list goes on, who are actively preparing the meal, deciding what they're going to cook. We get so many varieties of things. Tyler has been now a couple of times and enjoyed the amazing meals that get served there. So we appreciate everyone, and then we appreciate the being a beneficiary. That's going to help us immensely. The costs are up everywhere. even just to be hosting it. We have some great groups that support us in banks and different other groups, and we appreciate them. But this concert is just, we feel so blessed, and it's clearly a privilege and an honor to be able to be part of this.
Well, Tyler Bowe, I don't want to say sailed in, I'll say flew in to Massachusetts, his, Fall River, his hometown, about 3 or 4 months ago. And I did an interview with Tyler here on the stage, as we're doing now. And Tyler, I guess, looked around and decided, wow, I think I could do something. So now we have this fabulous extravaganza of music and whatever that he's planning, a wonderful, wonderful night supporting 2 fabulous organizations, people like our friend here, Tom Corey, performing along with Tyler, and a major star in the area, Juliana Lucia, I hope I'm getting this right, Emerald, who will be a lead performer that night. She recently won a contest sponsored by the Portuguese that this year was held at PPAC in Providence. That's how large this has become. And this year she was the winner in that particular contest. So my urging is, please come out and see this wonderful night of music. You'll reach and perform and support rather 2 fabulous organizations here.